Hey guys, it's Jsnow with a Zoolock deck for you guys. So what is a Zoolock deck? A Zoolock deck is a deck that it's a Warlock deck that runs a bunch of low cost minions and usually wins as fast as possible. So the goal is to win and hit face as much as possible, and Zoolock is the Warlock deck to do that. So next is, as far as the deck I run, we run one Mortal Coil, basically to get rid of any early game threats. This deck is focused on getting rid of a lot of early game threats, so it can open up the board for all my minions. Run two Abusive Sergeants. These, basically to get off Nerubian Egg early on, so to ram Nerubian Egg into another monster. Or it can just be used to get lethal, which happens a lot, which tends to happen a lot where I don't have lethal until I have this card in my hand. So he's actually a pretty important card, but he's one of the cards that you do not mulligan for. You don't want to mulligan him. I mean, you do want to mulligan him if you do get him in your mulligan. Next is Argent Squire, which is a nice one-cost minion with Divine Shield, which means your opponent will have to use two attacks to get rid of it, or a spell and an attack, so it's awesome to get rid of opponent resources. Elven Archer, it deals 1 damage. This is great for early game or if a monster has low health, etc. Next is Flame Imp. This is one of the bread and butter of the deck. It deals 3 damage to yourself, but is one of the strongest minions, one-cost minions you can possibly get. So you want to mulligan for this early game. You want to mulligan for this early on, and usually open up with this on your first turn, since it has high attack just to get some damage going. Also, basically, when you play this card, this kind of signals that to your opponent that you're playing Zoo. So it's kind of one of those cards that says, "Hey, oh my God, I'm fighting a Zoo deck." So, I guess just use it right away, but your opponent will probably know you're playing Zoo the second you lay that down. Next is Leopardome. It does 2 damage when it dies, so extra damage. I run 2 of them. 2 Voidwalkers. There's not that much to protect in this deck other than Knife Juggler and Direwolf Alpha, but he seems to work out in the deck nicely, so that's why I throw him in. Plus he's a 1/3 for 1, so that's kind of awesome. Next card, Dark Bomb. This is probably one of my favorite cards in Hearthstone. It's 2 costs for 3 damage, so this will get rid of any early game threats, and is also used for lethal, if just in case you don't have enough minions on the board. You gotta craft this card. Basically, just craft this card. So, This is from the Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion, so it's fairly new. Next is 1 Acidic Swamp Ooze. This is for Warrior and Paladin matchups. I mean, it's kind of rare that you'll be able to get this off, but you kind of want to just hold it to destroy the weapon. If not, just play it right away since it's a 3/2. So it's pretty much self-explanatory, but could be replaced for any 2-star monster you want, or 2-star. I'm thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-gem monster, 2-cost, whatever you call it. Just replace it for a 2-cost monster if you don't like it. Next is Direwolf Alpha. This is basically used for getting lethal, because it basically adds 2 attack to the board if you have monsters on both sides. Or it can be used for Nerubian Egg to bounce it, to attack it and to ram it into another minion. So it's another thing to get the Nerubian Egg off. Ironbeak Owl, I only run 1 of these. You could run 2, but it might be a little bit too sacky or too much. But this is basically to get rid of taunts. So if taunts are a big problem against Zoolock, so you want to save this until your opponent plays a taunt, then silence that, and then just go straight for the face when they don't expect it. So that's why I run 1 Ironbeak Owl. Next is Knife Juggler, another important card in the deck. You need to run 2 of them, because it deals 1 damage every time you summon a monster, and since you have 50, 1-star, I'm just going to keep calling them 1-star. Since you have 50 1-cost monsters, you're going to get a lot of Knife Jugglers off. So it's pretty awesome to have in the deck. Nerubian Egg, basically self-explanatory. Any of the cards that add attack to minions, you want to use it on Nerubian Egg so you can ram it into another monster and get that 4/4 on the field as early as possible. Next is Shadow Bolt. Now this is a card that not many people run. I like running it because it does 4 damage for 3 cost, but this can be replaced by another Implosion, which is a 4 cost that deals 2 to 4 damage but summons imps in its place. So it's kind of a better card, and I think a lot of people run 2 Implosions, but for some reason I just like having Shadow Bolt since it's a lower cost. So that's really up to preference. Questing Adventurer. So I was recording this before and I forgot to hit record, but there's a great example of why he's questing Adventurer. Is it's a big threat card. Your opponent will see this, depending on how you play it, if you can buff it up, and your opponent will try to get rid of it. So it's kind of an easy bait to bait out any powerful spells like Fireball or Sheep, because the opponent will just think most of the time that, oh my god, I don't want this card getting any more attack power, getting any more attack or health. I need to get rid of it right away. So it's an awesome stall card, and I like using it especially late in the turn, because you can play Questing Adventurer and then 2 1-cost creatures, and all of a sudden you got yourself a 4/4. But what do you call it? You got a 4/4 and 2 creatures in 1 turn, so it's pretty awesome. Explosion I already went over. Defender of Argus. This is another important card as it gives extra damage for lethal, or you turn your Nerubian eggs into taunts, which forces your opponents to hit the egg, thus spawning the 4/4. So usually I try to save it for the egg combo, or I might just use it on any card just to get more damage on the board. Piloted Shredder, I'm still testing. There's not much I can say about this card. It's nice that you can get another 2-cost minion, but it's kind of a staple in a lot of decks, so I just thought for 4-cost, hey, might as well put in some Piloted Shredders. Why the hell not? So there's not much I can really say about that. Doomguard. This is the bread and butter of the deck. So basically, you have to discard 2 cards, but for the most part with this deck, you shouldn't really have much of a hand. So you want to try to get this card out when you have no hand. So that means it costs, you're getting this out for free, and it's a huge monster. It's usually what almost always gives you lethal when you draw this. So it's very important. Always have 2 of them. Pretty self-explanatory card. And another card that I want to do honorable mention for, which I might actually slide out some of these cards for, is Imp Gang Boss. So this is a new card that just came out in the second wing of Blackrock Mountain, and whenever it takes damage, it summons a 1/1 imp. And I'm seeing this in a couple of Zoolock builds that I saw online. So this card might become a new staple in Zoolock. I'm not sure yet. That's why I'm not using it just yet, but just a recommendation. So that's Zoolock deck for you. So let's do a quick duel to show you guys how it works. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but just to show how it works.
I will fight with honor.
Alright, we have a Paladin matchup, which is probably the worst possible matchup you can get, and a pretty bad hand. So you want to get rid of both Abusive Sergeants. We do have Flame Imp. So the problem with Paladin decks is they run Consecration. So Consecration pretty much destroys this deck. So when facing a Paladin, you pretty much just gotta hope they don't have Consecration. Or you could try to bait it out by not playing too many cards, but it's just really just overall not a good thing. And they also have the tokens, which can be a little bit overwhelming. So he's starting out with Leper Gnome, which deals 2 damage, so I can actually coin. So right now I think I'm just going to coin, or I'll just play Flame Imp. He's probably just going to attack it, so there's not much I can do there. But otherwise, this is usually your standard Zoolock play, playing Flame Imp first turn, but since he has Leper Gnome, he's probably just going to ram it right into that. So he's playing a Secret. I'm assuming it's that one where, yeah, it's going to be that one where you attack and then another minion comes out, so I'm just going to attack, and that minion's going to come out, and there it is, Noble Sacrifice. That kind of throws me off pretty badly, so next I'm just going to play, I'll play the Egg, and then I'll coin into Leper Gnome. So I'll have our own Leper Gnome here. So this kind of prevents, the Nubri and the Egg kind of, I guess, prevents Consecration in a way. I mean, so I guess it just doesn't make it as bad if you get consecrated. So, at least you'll get the high attack monster, but it's still just this deck just has such a bad matchup with Paladins. I'll see what he does now. So what I'm hoping is he plays a weapon or something, but most likely not. And if anything, I don't really have much I can do with this. So he's going to play coin, and he's going to attack directly. So it seems like he's just going to keep going face, so that's pretty good. And now we have Knife Juggler, so that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to play Knife Juggler, and then I'm going to get rid of that minion just to do 2 damage. So now I could play, next I could play Defender of Argus, which will be pretty awesome, because then that gets my egg becomes a taunt. So let's see, he has 4 mana and he's gonna do Hammer Wrath. So that's not good. So he gets to draw a card. And he's gonna attack face. Alright, so we're gonna play Argent Squire. I'm gonna wait on the Defender of Argus. I'm gonna tap to get, oh, we got Mortal Coil, perfect. So Mortal Coil on his minion. And then we got Iron Beguile. So that was a pretty good draw. So that's why I run Mortal Coil. Because usually there's always some one health minion on the board. For the most part. So let's see what he plays now. So since he's above 4 mana, he can play Consecrate, so that's kind of what I'm waiting on. It'd be awesome if he plays it right now, but that probably won't be the case. Also, we'll have to see what he does. If he plays his weapon, that would be also great, but instead he's going for a Knife Juggler. That's pretty interesting, so let's see what it hits. Ooh, it hits face. Alright. So Knife Juggler isn't too much of a problem, but I'm just gonna play Defender of Argus, and I'm gonna have this ram into this, and this ram into that. So now he's probably gonna play Consecration. I mean, if not, then that'd be a little bit weird. If not, then I can actually do another Defender of Argus, which would be a little bit ridiculous, but might as well go for it. So I'm expecting him to play a weapon now, so Acidic Swamp Ooze would be pretty awesome. Yep, there it goes. There goes the weapon. So here's where you get a ton of value since he played his card. The Acidic Swamp Ooze it is, but I'm not doing too good as far as the health. Paladins can keep gaining health, so it's not good at all. So I'm going to play Acidic Swamp Ooze. I get to destroy that. Then I'm going to play, I'm actually going to tap to get more. So we have Doomguard, alright? So then I'm going to play this, get rid of his minion, and attack directly. So now, Consecration would probably happen right about now. If not, then I need to really hit face hard because he has a lot of health and I'm already below 15. And once you get to around 15 health, that's when you want to start panicking. That's when you're going to go, oh no! It's like too much going, oh, you know, oh no, I'm going to lose is probably going to happen. So he has 7 mana, so he could play that guy who gives him health, or probably not. So he's going to play that, and Holy Wrath, draw a card and deal damage equal to its cost. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so he did that on the egg. I don't know why he did that, so that's a little bit weird. So I'm going to play Piloted Shredder, and I guess I'll waste the 2 damage on the token. And alright, so he's at 15 health too, so I'm pretty comfortable with drawing another card. So we got Dark Bomb, which is perfect. So right now, if he doesn't destroy any minions, we have Lethal. So right now we have Lethal, and that's the best part about Dark Bomb. It just gives you that nice little edge to get in. So most likely he's going to heal up, which won't be bad. Or Equality. Oh, shit. Oh. Alright, instead we got a pretty hard Consecration. Damn. Oh, but we got Micro Machine, so that's good. That's actually pretty good. Not a total loss right there. I mean, even though that's pretty disappointing to have. So right now we have 8 mana, so we have a lot to play around with, but not anything good. So I'm actually gonna tap, and we got Elven Archer, which is perfect. So I'm gonna pop this, and then I'm actually gonna play Defender of Argus just to give him more attack. So Defender of Argus, and then I'll do Abusive Sergeant just to get 5 damage in there. Just to keep him on edge. So hopefully he doesn't have another Consecrate, because that would be pretty bad. And wow, it looks like his hand is going off the screen, so he's going to play something to get rid of this. Alright, so Hammer of Wrath. Alright, and if he doesn't heal up, we pretty much, yep, we have Lethal, so... Alright, that was quicker than my last game, so that's pretty much how the deck works. You just gotta play around and hope for the best. So even against one of my worst matchups, we still did pretty good. So let me just math this out right. So I can do 2-3 damage with Dark Bomb, I can throw in Dire Wolf, and then this, and it really doesn't matter from there. So that's how Zoolock works. There's the finisher with Doomguard, which is pretty classic, and that's how explosive we can get. So thanks for watching. As always, feel free to subscribe for more Hearthstone videos. I'm hoping to do more deck guides, I guess more fun and more interesting decks than classic Zoo. But thanks for watching. As always, feel free to subscribe for more Hearthstone Daisy and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.